Hello everyone. We are back in Florida. If you've been keeping up with the shop and keeping up with videos, you've probably seen that we were recently in Mesquite, Texas for the Mesquite Guitar Show, and then in Philly for the Philadelphia Great American Guitar Show. Now we are back with a lot of guitars. Both shows are really busy and we picked up a lot of really great gear as well as met a lot of great people. So thank you everyone that came and hung out and said what's up. We really appreciate it. But with all that craziness, we didn't get to show every single guitar that we got in those videos. So today we're gonna be indulgent and we're gonna dig through all this stuff that just came in and do a traditional fresh finds for the first time in a long time. So let's see what we found. The crazy thing is this is almost everything, but it's actually not everything. There's other stuff that we picked up that already sold, as well as a few guitars that we are still working on as of filming. This is the heavy majority of it, but believe it or not, there's actually even more than this. Let's get started. I'm gonna start here. This is a pretty cool one that we got as a one-off. This one is a 1993 Fender Strat Plus with the mini Floyd Rose bridge, which is pretty crazy. We've had a lot of Strat Pluses over the years, but this is one of the cleanest ones I've ever seen. The color looks phenomenal and just all these specs, we couldn't pass it up. It's even got the original case. This is easily one of the coolest Strat Pluses that I've ever come across, so you know we had to have it. We even still have the warranty card. With these ones next. We'll keep in the theme of Strats here for a minute. While we were in Philly, we ended up doing a deal with our good friend Drew from the Guitar House of Tulsa. I cannot say enough good things about Drew and his team. They've always been great to us, whether we are shopping in their store or just hanging out at the guitar show. So big shout out to them. And here's some treats that we got from them in Philly. So here we have a Fender American Elite Stratocaster from 2015. This is a pretty special one. This is a Fender 50th anniversary Stratocaster with a flame top finish, which is pretty rare. Even rarer to see it with this case. This one is from 1996. It's got all the candy with it. Look at that. This stuff has been very well preserved for many, many years. Even got the original manual. Pretty cool. I feel like I see a lot of 90s Strats, but I don't see this particular sticker anymore. So it's cool to see this is still here. The last Strat we picked up from Drew, this absolutely gorgeous Lincoln Brewster signature Stratocaster in a lovely gold. So we love that. Super clean too. This thing is in excellent condition. So you love to see it. And this does have all the goodies as well. So you got it all. Somebody got it from Sweetwater. You got the booklet, you got the lacquer, the nitro lacquer finish book. You even got the certificate of authenticity. So it's all here. In that same haul from Drew, we also got this Gibson Les Paul. This one specifically is a Les Paul Classic from 2000. Super vibey. Who doesn't love a good Les Paul Classic? I like the profile on this one too, because it's kind of like 59-ish. It's not super, super slim like a typical 60s neck, but it's definitely not like a baseball bat. It's a good Les Paul. Oh, look at that. You get the Gibson USA cloth. There you have it. Moving down the line, we got a couple pickups from Charlie's Guitar Shop out in Texas. This deal was at the Mesquite Guitar Show, and Charlie's Guitar Shop is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so check them out if you haven't. But this thing's crazy clean for what it is. This is like an 85 to 86 Squier Contemporary Series Stratocaster, and it's just in beautiful condition. It's got this nice Fender case as well, so. As a very glowing red. Also from Charlie's Guitar Shop, we got this vintage PVT-20 bass and a very nice sunburst that has aged quite well. So this one's definitely a player example. It's got changed tuners, but otherwise pretty original and ready to rock. I should note we also picked up a G&L S500 from them, but that one's already found a new home. All right, we got some tweed cases. Let's see what we got. Here we have a Fender Esquire in a gorgeous Lake Placid blue. This is one of their vintage reissue ones. It's pretty recent, but fantastic playing guitar. This thing is so resonant and it gives you so much back. So I love Esquires and I love this Esquire. Big thumbs up for me, and this was definitely a highlight from Texas for me. I was very excited to find this. Chunky neck on there too. Oh, you wouldn't believe it, but it has the case candy as well. It also does have the paperwork in this pouch, so it is also all here. Here we have a 1977 Music Master. I love these old Music Masters, whether it's ones from the 60s, even late 50s, but 50s, 60s, or even the 70s Music Masters. These are really, really great. It's all black. It doesn't get much classier than that. Very fun guitar. And I'll say it again, you'll have to see it. Taking a look at another bass here. Not just any bass, but a 5-string Fender Jazz bass from 2008. And I originally thought this was Candy Apple Red, but it's not. This is actually Candy Cola, so it's a little different, but just quite the bass here. It's got some honest wear, but once again, it is truly ready to rock. So very solid bass from a very solid time of the Fender American Standard line. And right now, it's got flats on it, which is either great or terrible, depending on what genre you're doing. I like flats, but for certain applications. I actually didn't look at the label, so I don't know which one this is. Oh, this is a good one. This one is from Philly. This is a Gibson Les Paul Standard from 2001 in sapphire blue, which is an incredibly hard to find color. And this thing rocks. Sounds fantastic. The color is unmistakable, and it's everything you'd want in a classic Les Paul. There we go. This one is from Texas. This is a 2023 Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s. A pretty cool top on there. And this one is in Bourbon Burst, which is probably my favorite of the different bursts. Pretty sleek, pretty cool. You love it. Nice and clean. All right. Another Les Paul from Texas, a Gibson Les Paul Standard double cutaway with this crazy flame top on it. Pretty rad. This particular example is from 1998. I recognize these next cases, and we are definitely staying within the Texas theme. If you saw the Texas video, you would have seen these next few guitars as they were highlights. A Fender Telecaster. This is the American Vintage thin skin version, so very thin nitro lacquer finish here that will wear as you play it. And a gorgeous Lake Placid blue. It's a custom, so double bound. Very nice rosewood board. And if you're looking for a Tele, this is a good one. Same style case, same style guitar. Here we have another American Vintage Telecaster custom reissue, but this time in seafoam green. Very classy. Once again, double bound, fantastic board, nitro lacquer finish, all good things. Both these came from a collector who takes really good care of his stuff that we bought from in the past. And this has got all the stuff, once again, all the case candy. So very, very excited that we were able to get these guitars in. As, for me, this is as cool as it gets. This is probably a good time to note that we did really well in Philly, we did really well in Mesquite, but volume-wise, we definitely didn't pick up as much as we sometimes do. We've had guitar shows where we've picked up 40 or 50 guitars in one show, whereas we picked up about 40 between both shows, so it actually was about 20 each. It was pretty even, but definitely quality over quantity here. A lot of really great stuff like this. I'd rather have stuff like this than two pieces that were cool, but not as cool. So it's great to have really good stuff like this coming into the shop. We are, once again, keeping with the American Vintage theme, but as the tweed case would imply, this is a reissue of an earlier year. And that is the classic 1952 Telecaster. So this particular example is from 2003, all original and super solid. This is a classic butterscotch Tele. You love it. A lot of really great stuff this time around. A lot of really well-preserved examples. Now, if you're looking for a Tele, but those last few were a little out of your budget, this might be a good candidate. This one is just like a Fender Mexico reissue of the classic 50s Tele in kind of a more light blonde finish. White guard, but yeah, still a pretty rad Tele reissue. This one in particular doesn't need to go get set up, so it's got some old strings on here right now. But yeah, this one is from 2003 once again, and it's not mint, definitely has some wear there as you can see. But yeah, pretty cool Tele, and for the price that this will go up for, I don't think you can beat it. This one is one of the highlights from Philly, so if you saw that video, you've seen this guitar. I cannot wait to get this one on the bench. And this is a vintage Mustang in Dakota Red. This one is from 66 to 67. We'll see when we get it taken apart. I think it's 66, but yeah, it's all here, all original and in fantastic shape. So once again, very cool to find such a well-preserved example. especially in this case of a guitar that is as old as this is. But plays great, it sounds great, and man, the Dakota Red is still looking fantastic on this guitar, so very grateful to have this. You can just see in the fretboard how much this thing has been played. This guitar has certainly been loved, and for good reason. We are getting back into the world of Gibsons. I recognize this case. This is a really great Les Paul. Here we have a Gibson Les Paul Premium Plus and a absolutely gorgeous Honeyburst. This one is really, really light. It's even chambered, as you can hear there. But yeah, great lightweight Les Paul with a super cool flame top. And yeah, big points across the board on this. This one has, I would say, a little more of like a 60s style neck. It's still not super, super slim, but definitely slimmer than some of the other ones we were just looking at. But this is easily one of my absolute favorite Les Pauls of this haul. So this is definitely a highlight for me. This one actually came out of the same haul as the last Les Paul, and that is a 2023 Gibson Original Collection Les Paul Jr. This one's got a very chunky 50s neck on it and a really unique finish. This is just the regular Sunburst from the factory, but for some reason this one just turned out a little different. Definitely a way more subdued, way more kind of like laid back, darker Sunburst. I know some of these are super bright yellow, but this one is not. And it caught my eye. And I remember in that video I said, like, we've been looking for stuff like juniors, you know, whether it's SG Specials, SG Juniors, Les Paul Juniors, Les Paul Specials, all that sort of stuff we've definitely been looking for. And this was one of the perfect guitars to check that box. We were just looking at Gibsons, which means it's time to get back to Fender. This one is from Texas. This is a Fender American Standard Stratocaster in black. This particular example is from 2000. And yeah, pretty rad. You never would have guessed it, but we're back to Gibson. This is a great one. This is a Gibson Les Paul Traditional with one of the nicer tops and a absolutely gorgeous wine red. Some nice flame. It's not super overpronounced, but a nice subtle, cool flame here. And yeah, this is a comfy guitar, definitely on the slimmer side neck-wise, but this is a solid Les Paul. And I think for the money, whether it's a classic or traditional, these are some of the best Les Pauls you can get. I have no problem with studios. Studios are cool, but people always ask, like, oh, should I get a Les Paul Studio? And if that's what you want, that's great. We definitely carry them, and people definitely buy them. But I always recommend just up your budget a little bit and get something like this. This doesn't go for that much more than a Studio would, and is a lot closer to a Les Paul Standard. That is just my personal recommendation. This one is not a Fender or a Gibson. This one is a Guild S100 from 1979. Pretty cool vintage Guild. Electric, of course. Guild is much more known for making acoustic guitars, but they also made some cool electric guitars back in the day, and this is one of them. This is one of those I didn't know a lot about before I picked it up, but since listing it, we've been getting a ton of attention on this one. So people definitely enjoy this model, and after spending some time playing it, I definitely see why. This is pretty rad. So I'm sure this was very futuristic back in the day too, and very well preserved for its age. This case has definitely seen better days. It's got these latches, but they're not there anymore. Someone has replaced them with these style. From the Lone Star State, we have a Lone Star Strat. So these came stock with a Seymour Duncan humbucker in the bridge. So if you're looking for an HSS, this is a pretty cool model to check out. And this color looks absolutely phenomenal. I like it. Locking tuners, pretty rad. Not completely original, but it's pretty original. I know some of the plastics have been swapped out here. Weirdly enough, when this was new, this would have had white plastics, but then this one in particular happened to have a black pickup, so who knows? So the previous owner swapped the plastics over to black, but got a lot of guitars here. Gotta keep moving. Oh yeah, this is a cool one too. This is another Les Paul Standard. This one has the 50s neck profile, but I will say for a 50s profile, it's definitely pretty slim, so I found that really, really interesting. But yeah, this example in particular is from 2007. Nice and light, very cool flame. This is a good Les Paul, another highlight for me. So this is another Les Paul you would have never guessed, but this is one of the a little more affordable ones. A Gibson Les Paul Tribute. This actually still has the show tag on it, as we have not had a chance to get this one set up yet, but really clean, it's a nice shape, plays well, and these are cool Les Pauls. These have a satin finish, so you don't get the gloss finish. You know, I like standards a lot better than these. For me, this is not usually what I gravitate towards, but if you're looking for something that has that arched top and a burst and kind of all the appointments that come with this, this will get you into that sort of territory for like half the price of a standard. So I definitely like these. I prefer standards, but for what they are, they're very cool. I love when Gibson does this finish, but for some reason I just enjoy it more on like their specials and juniors. It's a little weird to see it on like a standard style Gibson, but that's just my take. I know a lot of people enjoy these for what they are, and this is a good example. Again, a Gibson, not in a hard case. Here we have a guitar from a very good friend of ours, Shane, who runs a shop, Totem Paul Guitars. We ended up doing a deal in Texas that involved us getting this guitar. It was a very cool SG in a dark cherry finish. That SG has already sold. We still do have this Gibson Les Paul Studio Deluxe. And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of just the regular studios for myself personally. They're good guitars, but they're just to my taste. They're not what I would gravitate towards. But I do always love when Gibson does a studio, but they like add something extra. So for the Deluxe, you get binding. And I think these have different electronics than the other equivalent studios of the time period. So I do like these. Whether you're looking at this one or the Tribute or any of the other kind of Les Paul models that price-wise fall a little under the traditional, I still think they're great. I still do like them, but if you're going for a standard, I would push up to a standard. But if you like this for what it is, or the Tribute for what it is, nothing wrong with going that route. All right, another Gibson, and another more affordable Gibson, which we've been low on. This is a Gibson SG Future, which is a pretty unique guitar. For the SG, I do love the stripped back aesthetic. I don't know, I love it on SGs, on Les Pauls. It's hit or miss for me, but this is really, really great. Super comfy, slim neck profile, and yeah, I don't know. I like the satin finish on here. It really works. This particular example is from 2013. I believe these would have originally had the robot tuner, so I'm happy to see that this no longer has that. This definitely has some interesting tuners on it now. The most affordable guitar that is in this video, and that is a Fender Player Stratocaster with the plus top. So this is a pretty cool blue flame finish. This one does have a chip there, so definitely has some wear. This is a pretty cool guitar. If you're on a budget, these are great. If you have the budget for it, I would definitely push up to like an American or Japanese Strat. But for the price, I don't think you can beat them. If you're in the market for one of these, let us know, and we'll give you a great deal on this one. We don't do too much of the Player series, but sometimes they do come in, and this is one of those times. So here you have it. This is the last electric guitar. We do have some acoustics after this. This is not a Fender or a Gibson, which is quite the rarity I'm realizing as this goes on. But this is a vintage K effector, which, as the name implies, it's got some built-in effects. I mean, you get everything from echo, tremolo, wah, amp out, headphone out. What else could you possibly need? We've had a few of these in the past. They're a lot of fun. I love playing with these, and they sell. People like these, so here we have it. And I'm sure it won't last long. They're bolt-on. These are nothing crazy. Not like a super high-end guitar by any means, but very unique and definitely pretty cool with all this built-in stuff. I'm glad that this didn't catch on, and guitars now don't include any of this, but pretty unique. I'm gonna end on two acoustics here. This is cool, but it needs some work. This is a Gibson Hummingbird from around 1975, and it looks fantastic. It sounds good, but unfortunately right now the action is pretty high on this one, but there's still some room on the saddle. Definitely needs a truss rod adjustment. This one just kind of needs everything, and we'll have to kind of see where we can get it once we get it set up, but let's tune down a bit. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous sounding guitar, and I'm very excited to get this one on the bench and get it playing the way it should be. This should be a fantastic vintage Gibson acoustic. All right, one more. And it's only in a gig bag. You wouldn't believe it based on the rest of this video, but it's another Gibson, but a pretty uncommon one. And that is a vintage Gibson Blue Ridge acoustic, which sounds fantastic. It plays really, really great. Haven't even got this one on the bench yet, but it's already playing the way it should. So I'm sure it's only going to get better, but man, this thing is worn, crazy checking all over. Lots of wear around the sound hole here. Someone's definitely been playing this one hard, but this sounds fantastic. This is a great player vintage Gibson that's pretty affordable for what it is. I'm guessing this probably will sell somewhere in the same range as buying like a newer J45. So it's not like super cheap by any means, but it's definitely like accessible compared to what a lot of vintage Gibson acoustics go for. This This is a really great value for what it is. I mean, the Blue Ridge series is not that popular, so that's why they haven't really gotten super expensive, but yeah, just a great vintage Gibson. It's a good one. And this is a great one to end on too, as this is just cool. That concludes our haul today. It was definitely fun doing a classic fresh finds. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below in the comments if you would rather see stuff like this, where we do a ton of guitars, but only spend a little bit of time on each one, or if you'd rather us do like smaller hauls where we spend more time on each guitar. There's obviously only so much time in a day, and we don't want to make these videos an hour long, so we can either do less guitars, but spend more time on each one, or we could do more stuff like this where we show you guys 30 guitars in one video and have to kind of breeze through them. I'm interested to see you guys' feedback in the comments, and we'll be happy to adjust accordingly, as we enjoy doing both. Yeah, let me know down below in the comments what your favorite guitar was from this video. It's really, really tough to pick a favorite for me, but it'd have to come down to it would either have to be the Fender American Vintage Thin Skin Telecaster Custom, or one of the many great Les Paul standards we got. I know this was a lot of just Fender and Gibson, so sorry if this was super repetitive, but that's the stuff that I enjoyed the most. It's the stuff that definitely sells the best for us. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you in another video soon. Bye.